As you know, themes make it possible to create a nice uniform web presence. It is a concept that basically says I'm going to try and make my pages look pretty much the same or have certainly some similarities from page to page so that the user knows that I'm still, or that they're still, on the website that they've decided they want to visit. One of the things that we can do is create uniform headers, uniform footers, or maybe uniform headings. For example, here's a heading that I have created, and I used good old-fashioned HTML to pull that off. We'll just take a quick peek at that in Komodo, and there it is, all highlighted and ready to go. There's a divide tag identifying a class called div heading, and that class, if we click over here to root style and find div heading, it's here somewhere. If I go past it, I think I did. Let's go near the top here. Output, title, there it is, div heading. Tells you how wide it is. I set up the margins so that they're nothing. Put in some padding so that I can move it over some. And I made sure the text line was centered so that now that the HTML elements are going to be centered in this particular critter. So let's close that down. I don't need to look at that anymore. So there you have it. What I want to do is I want to make it really convenient to be able to create a uniform heading across every single one of my web pages. And one way to do that is to use JavaScript. Well, you kind of sneak up on it. If you don't really know too much about JavaScript, it's really a good idea to kind of sneak up on the process. Clearly we know about document write, and we're going to use document write to help us out, and ultimately we're going to end up creating an external function that will do this for us. Okay, so probably the first thing we need to do, of course, is get some JavaScript tags wrapped around this thing. So what I'm going to do is pop in some JavaScript tags. Well, let's see, the fastest way is to do it this way, and as you see, there's script type JavaScript, and there's the close tag for the script. And this, of course, is never going to work, right? Because now I have good old-fashioned HTML in the middle of this. I would go ahead and tab this forward and do the document .write and open paren, put it in a single quote. You'll know, because I'm using double quotes in here, so to avoid escape sequences, I just go ahead and I pop in single quotes. And of course, remember your semicolon. And now what I have done is I've taken this little piece of HTML and I have basically, if you will, kind of turned it into JavaScript. Okay, as you know, the document write method just simply takes whatever's inside the quotes and it just spits it on out into the screen wherever the if you will, the cursor is at. Okay, just pops it in there. So let's go ahead and let's just edit this whole thing so that it looks correct. Okay, so I've already created this to save myself some presentation time, and here it is. All the document rights are in place, and you see that I've closed them off quite nicely. I'll control save and minimize Komodo for a minute and come over here. Next step, of course, is to refresh the page, and as you can see, it works. All right, this is really important. We want to make sure that every tiny step that we take, it all works. Now, what we have done here is we've basically just put a JavaScript wrapper around our HTML, but it would be nice to turn this whole thing into a function. Okay, so I'll go up here to the top of life, and I see that I haven't done very good indenting, so I'll just take a minute here and fix that. It's really important to use good indenting, right? And there's the close head. Cool. So now what I want to do is I want to go ahead and put in a JavaScript function. And literally, to create a JavaScript function, you can begin by just simply doing function heading, under JavaScript, inside JavaScript tags, function heading, and then all your document write stuff. And then eventually you can store this stuff in variables. By storing it in variables, you end up with a little bit more control, and I'll show you what that looks like right now. Okay, so let's go ahead, grab a hold of my little function declaration, and we'll go to here and pop it in place. Okay, so Open that up, and as I see, my paste is kind of strange. Okay, guess I will just live with that for right now. No, I won't either, because it won't let me live with it. Okay, so here we go. Tab it all in, right? Actually, let's just do it this way, because it'll tab the whole enchilada, I do believe. Yep, see, so there we are. Everybody is all happy. Of course, this is inside a function, so let's go ahead and make sure this is all tabbed correctly. Script type. Oh, here, we just tabbed too far on this one. That's what it is, I bet, huh? Nope, we didn't. Okay, there it is. We've cleaned up our little code structure, if you will. Now that I have heading done, let's take a closer look at this thing. You'll see now that my document rights have been replaced with div open, course name, assignment, my name, index page, and div close. What I did here is I just simply created variables. Here's a variable, and I included a new one called assignment number, and you'll see why that is in a second. There's my div open, and sure enough, there's the HTML code to make the div open happen. Here's the course name. There's the HTML code for that. Here's the assignment, and you'll notice that it says H2 assignment, and then it says plus assignment number. So what I have done is I have attached the number to the string output. In other words, I concatenated this number onto this string, and then of course I finished up the tag. The advantage of doing that is now that I have this variable in here, I can take use of, or I can make use of it a little bit later on through the process. But as you see, my code is still on the inside, okay, of my document. That is, it's part of this HTML document. Let's save it and let's see if it works. Okay, whoops, we got to call it, right? We've got to call it. So let's do that down here. Grab a hold of all this, paste it in place, and there's my script that's going to be calling it. Okay. Real happy with that. Control save, minimize this, and let's refresh the web page, and as you see, everything looks exactly the same. Okay, everything looks exactly the same, so I know that this worked. Okay, so back into Komodo Edit. The next step then is to see if we can't get this outside of the body. Okay, and the way that we do that is we come up with a directory location, or a directory structure, if you will, for storing our JavaScript. And as you can see over here in Komodo Edit, I can click on this and you see I have a thing called notes, which was generated by my other editor. But I have created a file called heading.javascript. Okay, so what I can do here, click in here like so, and I can go source equals quote JS, because I'm in this index page right here, so I want to go into this directory JS and go to the heading. Alright, so let's see if that works for us. JS / heading .js. Okay, and now what I'm going to do is right here in this spot, I'm just going to go two double a comment mark, and I'm just going to make a quick little comment that I am loading the heading. This helps me to stay abreast of what's going on. Use forward tag, got that taken care of, and now I can go ahead and I can get rid of all of this, okay, like so. And now what I did in this heading, okay, rub that out. Let's open up this heading file. Pop open the JavaScript, and you see here it is. Function heading, and there's assignment number. Remember before I had an assignment number as a variable? Now I put it in here as a parameter, okay? Because what I'm going to do when I call this thing, I'm just going to type in whatever number I want. Okay, so I'm going to come down here. variable course name, blah blah blah. There's my assignment number doing its stuff, and here are all my outputs. So it looks like I've come up with something that might work for me. Okay, so let's close this down. I'm going to come down here and we're just going to do a save. Alright, and hopefully this will all work. Now you're going to notice something. Okay, there's my heading call, and you'll notice I have nothing in there. Let's see what happens if I don't include a parameter when I actually call this little function call. So we'll minimize this down like so. Come over here and we will refresh this, and it says assignment is undefined. Okay, gives me a little message. Now remember, it literally printed the word assignment, but then it came up, JavaScript generated this little message to me right here saying that I can't print undefined because it doesn't exist. Okay, so we'll just leave that like that for right now though, because we're going to go back here and we're going to fix that. And the easiest way to fix that is I can just come down here to my heading, and let's say that I just put even the number 1. Okay, we'll go ahead and command save that. We'll minimize that, and now we'll refresh it, and it says assignment 1. You see how that works? And of course this is supposed to be assignment 2. Grab this then, let's fix it so that it reads assignment 2. Command save, and minimize this, and we'll refresh that, and you see it now says assignment 2. So what we've created is a really cool external JavaScript function that will allow us to be able to very quickly and succinctly create our neat little headings. Even if I click here, it'll take me back to where I need to go. Okay, click, and there it is. It's back to where I wanted this to go. Okay, so I think that's it. I think that that's all you need to know as far as being able to develop the heading. Hopefully you'll find this video helpful.